Right thing. Okay, so welcome tonight, everybody. I'm Ken Kobetitsch. I'm the Nassau County District of Mercy Coordinator for Nassau County Aries. And we'll get into what is Aries and what it isn't and why there is an Aries and so forth. All right, so the biggest thing is what is Aries? Why is it around? And basically, it's built into Part 97. Its basis and purpose of ham radio is the rules and regulations designed to provide amateur radio service having a fundamental purpose as expressed in the following principles: recognition and enhancement of the value of amateur service. I don't know. Do you have mail or something on this? Okay. All right. So as I was getting into it, it says public to serve the public as a voluntary non-commercial communication service, particularly with respect to providing emergency communications. And another reason why is by becoming a resource in the community, it enhances the public's understanding and appreciation of amateur radio and helps reduce the potential for conflicts when a ham wants to put up an antenna on his property. The more we're recognized as a neighborhood asset, the more likely it is our antennas, which are essential for our effective station performance, will be accepted. Okay, so what is Aries? Aries is a program at ARLL, offering to the public and its partners trained federally licensed operators who are skilled in applying a wide range of effective emergency or disaster communication techniques and who are committed to supporting our partners' missions and service to the public. That's a mouthful, right? What is not, okay? We are trained communicators, first off. We're not first responders. We don't self-deploy. We don't say, oh, there's a fire around the corner. Let me go over there and take control of, communications. No, we don't do that. That's not us. If you do that and you're part of Aries, you quickly become an ex-member of Aries. We're always invited to a situation. We're always invited to serve our partners. Okay, so some of the served agency of partners we have. For one, a lot of these we do have memorandums of understanding, both on the local, on the region level, and also through the league. And American Red Cross is our biggest served partner. We hold meetings there at their facility in Mineola. We also serve Nassau County Office of Emergency Management. In the past, when the Long Island Marathon ran up and down the Wantua Parkway and they needed people along the mile markers, we were there. Now they just run laps around Eisenhower Park and Museum Row. They don't need us. So they can count themselves how many times a person runs around. We just concluded this past weekend a drill with the Nassau County Fire Battalions. We passed some traffic. It was basically a situation report that we passed, local conditions, whether you have power, no power, running water, when there's any unrest, civil unrest, stuff like that. It's stuff that MARS, the Military Amateur Radio Service, when they conduct their quarterly drills, they usually have this form that they look for information from local amateur radio partners. And basically, it's you make up whatever information. If you want to say there's a riot down your block, you say there's a riot going on. But it basically is just they just want to test to make sure that they're able to get information and data coming in from both directions. One of our biggest events of the year is American Cancer Society Walk down at Jones Beach in October. Last year, I think they had 75,000 people come out to march. And what we do is we provide additional eyes and ears along the boardwalk. If there's any emergencies that arise, we're able to communicate that immediately back to our command trailer, where we're also liaison with the event coordinators, and we're able to render aid, get aid there quickly. This not this Saturday, but the following Saturday on the 18th, we're working with the MS Society. They have their walkathon down at Jones Beach. They have like a 1 mile and a 3 mile route along the boardwalk they're going to be doing. Not as big an event as the American Cancer Society walk, but it's also just as important. And they really enjoy our support with giving them that extra sense of security along the boardwalk, of additional eyes out there. And then the Huntington Bike Club, they do the Gold Coast Bike Tour. In past years, this crisscross between Nassau County and Suffolk County along the Gold Coast. Since COVID, they had to suspend it to 1 year or 2 years because of the COVID regulations. Well, apparently all those North Shore communities in Nassau County, didn't like these people coming through their neighborhood. So they made it very difficult to get permits and so forth. So it was all basically in Suffolk County last year. And they were really impressed with what we did for them, as it was new management basically for their event. We've always provided good event coverage for them. What we do is with that event, it's kind of unique because it's covers a large geographic area and everybody's moving in different directions. And they have those vehicles that are called support and gear vehicles, abbreviated as SAG. And basically there'll be one person that from the bike club or somebody that volunteered for them. Like last year was another bike shop, one of the bike shops had a van. And we'll stick one of our trained operators in the van with them. And there'll be a mobile unit that'll be dispatched to assist cyclists who encounter a flat tire or for some other reason are unable to complete course and need to be their bike and themselves to be picked up and returned back to the starting line. And it's a very interesting way we do this. We using APRS tracking, and I can get into that in a few more slides. Okay, so what tools do we utilize? We utilize the local repeaters, that some clubs have graciously allowed us to utilize. Others are dedicated to ARIES. We utilize VHF, UHF frequencies. We do utilize digital modes such as the narrowband emergency messaging software. This is using software called FL Digi, and we do a practice net on this on Monday nights, starting at 7:30, and currently using the newly titled WB2 WAK repeater on the 147135 frequency. So if you hear some strange noises going on that frequency at 7:30, that's us. And if you get the software, it's open source software. You could see what we're transmitting out in the clear. We'll also use WinLink and VARA for packet, and we participate in nationwide and local drills, passing traffic with WinLink and VARA. Built into the WinLink program is forms for Red Cross, FEMA, so forth that we'd be utilizing in terms of some type of shelter operation somewhere, or if we had to pass traffic from point A to point B, it's a lot easier just to input the form and ship it off to a gateway where it gets to its destination rather than trying to do it by voice. Sure. I didn't get to that for you. It's still a packet. Yeah, some of the forms are, as I was talking with Phil Nelson from the Red Cross, some of the forms that are in the WinLink program are outdated and no longer utilized. So as Glenn, WB2 QDS, was saying, Red Cross is in the process of updating these forms. All right, the DMR. Right now we're graciously granted, 10 minutes of talk time on the Limemark Talk Group from 7:45 to 7:55 p.m. on Monday nights. We utilize this just as basically a check-in to make sure that our radios are working. And we've uncovered some of the intricacies with DMR and some of the faults and issues with it, with multiple repeaters using the same talk group, and the very noticeable delay that is with Glen Oaks and Plainview, and how two people could actually key up both repeaters at the same time. You'll get the accept tone, but only one of them is getting through across the internet. The other one's only going to be heard locally on that particular repeater. And we've through trial and error, we've been able to see these issues and realize some of this may not be practical for emergency use, but for administrative use or other purposes. DMR does have its purpose, and we're always trying to experiment to try and make sure we can get it without these issues. Because I know up in Connecticut, the Connecticut areas, they've broken up into 9 regions, and they use the DMR successfully up there. So we're trying to mimic what they do. One of the things is I don't try to reinvent the wheel if it's already been invented. Yeah. Yes. There is a NLI Aries talk group. Not all repeaters are programmed to accept it, though. And I know New York City, they do have it because years ago there was a region-wide, metro region-wide drill for Red Cross where we had access to that talk group, and they wanted us to use it during this drill. But that was going back probably about 6 years now. Yeah. So using that particular talk group, we will maybe another issue for us to experiment with and see if that works. APRS, interesting enough, there's not a lot of digipeaters on Long Island. So if you're using radio-based APRS and you'll follow it on the map, you'll see a jump where, like, we utilized this in the past with the Long Island Marathon. Jerry would be in a trail car following the runner, or maybe not the marathon, but the Ocean and Sound Relay Race, which is started out in Jones Beach and ended up at Teddy Roosevelt Park up in Oyster Bay and crisscrossed up north through the island. And he would follow the trail runner. And we were able to follow Jerry in his car with his radio APRS. And it would jump from all of a sudden, he's then Jones Beach to like Huntington. And because there was a lack of digipeaters along the route. We've also utilized our cell phones. There's a nice, APRS has an app in the Android store in Google Play. Takes a minimal cost of $1 or $2, and that's a lifetime, and you can put it on as many devices as you want. Apple, I'm sure, has their own version as well in their store. It's not a data hog. I mean, the amount, if you have, the amount of, if you're not in an unlimited data plan, you don't have to worry that this thing's going to be like eating up your monthly usage of data. But this gave you a better idea of tracking the individuals. And with some of our events, we have this so that we were able to see where the nearest person is to, somebody that, if we have a report of somebody that may have fell down, need help, we're able to say, hey, can you take a walk, 200 feet to your right and take a look to see if there's anything going on over there. And then just report back to us. Or like I said, when we're doing the Gold Coast, we just, dispatch one of, SAG Vehicle 1 to this location because they're the closest one to that cyclist who needs help. Another tool we have is the Aries trailer, which is John is our trailer tech, our custodian of the trailer. It's a fully equipped MCOM command post that includes HF capability. So that's the trailer. And it will be at field day. For those of you who want to come out and see it in person, it'll be at the Limemark field day. You stick your head in the door to the left. We have 2 operating stations. There's 2 dual banders in the each corner. So we have there's some stations there. And then straight ahead, you see there's the HF station with, we have some monitor there. And then on the right side, there's another 2 operating stations. We could operate the mesh network from this location as well, the APRS tracking. We also have a DMR console there as well. So there's a lot of stuff in the trailer, and none of it interferes with any of it, John, right? John, none of it interferes with each other, right? No, so amazing. So, all right, so here's a picture of Gary at W2 MIT. He's doing some APRS tracking. This is probably an Ocean Sound relay race or the marathon. I'm not sure which one it was. Where he's tracking the trail car and positions of some of our members. So who could be a member? Well, an amateur who wants to serve as a member of his or her local group is a frontline of service to the community. There's 2 requirements for membership: valid license and a willingness to serve. Every licensed amateur, regardless of membership in the league, any local or national organization is eligible to apply for membership. We have several members of Limemark are in our local group. The president of Limemark is also our PIO in Aries, our public information officer. So Richie wears a lot of hats. There's no dues. We don't charge you a fee to join. Many amateurs want to be helped when a need arises, but not able to commit full time due to their schedule or formal participation. But you can still make a difference in contributing to the community by getting involved. This bar right across the front, can't even see the title page. Here we go. Reserves. Yeah, I guess it could, right? So we have a class of membership called reserves. And a lot of this came out of what happened during Sandy, when a lot of the infrastructure here in Long Island was severely damaged. But Limemark's repeaters were on the air and able to get communication and information out. And basically, so, this is where you could actually work from home. Sometimes just being a net control operator from home. You don't have to go out to a shelter or anywhere, but, because one of the things is with Aries, we're always family first. Your family has to be secure. You have to make sure your house is secure before you venture out to go anywhere when we're asking volunteers. And we've always put that, family first agenda. It shows you why Richie's not here for this important, presentation tonight. And also my deputy, Rob, he had a family commitment tonight, couldn't be here as well. Okay, so I'm a glorified volunteer is what I am. Like I said, I'm the district emergency coordinator. Above me is a section emergency coordinator, which is a vacant position right now. And above that person is Jim Measy, our section manager. So basically I answer to Jim Measy for what we do. And I have an assistant, like I said, Rob, KD2 GRS. And then I have a team of emergency coordinators on the town level, town of Oyster Bay, town of Hempstead, town of North Hempstead. We have emergency coordinators for those towns. Yes. Well, we have city of Glen Cove, city of Long Beach, and you know, we haven't gotten down to villages at this point, but you know, some of these EC positions are vacant at this time. And then the members, general members, you know, are at that point. And as a member, that, you know, there's three levels. There's a national strategic plan that the league put out about competency levels for membership. So they do this so that a level 1, a level 2, or level 3 operator in Nassau County is going to have the same qualifications, background, whatever, as somebody who's in Bismarck, North Dakota. Obviously, two different places, two different type of local conditions, but they want to make sure the competency level is the same. This is more important for FEMA, which the league has an MOU with. They want to make sure that if you're going to respond as part of a mutual aid response team, you know, these disasters that fit into this was like when they had the disaster in Puerto Rico or the earthquakes in Haiti, and the league was asking for volunteers, radio operators to go down. You know, they want to make sure you're able to operate the equipment, know the protocols and programs that are used, and so forth. So it's in support of the FEMA and the National Incident Management System. Most members of Nassau County Aries are level 1. We're concerned about our local issues. We're not worried about responding, you know, as part of mutual aid teams. You know, we're not looking to go to the flooding in Texas right now. You know, the people that were part of Aries that like would self-deploy in situations like this, they're no longer part of Aries. So we wish them well. Like I said, we're communicators that get invited to assist. We're not first responders. Now, a couple of years back, there was a hurricane that was supposed to devastate the East End and wipe it off, and knock out all the communications. And there was a lot of staging right up the block here on 107 at the Jericho Firehouse by the Red Cross. And they were asking us to set up a radio station there, basically as a relay station to pass traffic from the East End to New York City so that they can get the proper equipment and resources out to the East End. So there may be times where we're called upon in the NOI section to be like a relay station or you know, assist. You know, an example of this was, like I said, with the Gold Coast bike tour we did was mostly in Suffolk County. I reached out to the town of Huntington Aries and told them that the route of the previous years had changed. It was going to be mostly in their township. You know, I wanted to do as a joint operation because I didn't want to step on jurisdictional toes. And it's like, no, go ahead, run with it. We got to use all their repeaters out there, and the Middle Island repeater, which came in handy for us. That was newly installed at the time. So that's one of the things we do locally. So, okay, so as I said, it's a primary level for those who choose non-leadership roles, as well as people who are new to amateur radio or new to emergency communications. There's introductory trainings conducted by us, Nassau County Aries, meet the needs of our locally served agency and partners. Training could be formal, informal. You know, like I said, Jim Easy has specified he would like certain FEMA courses, you know, self-study online courses to do. And that would be the formal part. The informal would be when we have our meetings and we talk about best practices and what works at an event and what doesn't. So we'll introduce the participant to the fundamentals of emergency communications, provide instructions on how participants conduct themselves. Because after all, like I said, we're invited, we act as guests. Now, we don't go into somebody's house and tell them how they should run their house. So we just go in there to provide radio communications for them or to assist in auxiliary communications for them. So participants may elect to stay at this level, or if they want to do more training, more formal training, and move up in the levels that they're more than welcome to. So what is expected of somebody who joins Aries? Well, we expect you to have a genuine desire to participate. We have an annual drill called Simulated Emergency Test Drill. We basically like to get everybody on the air that day just to make sure everybody's radios are working, their home stations or HTs, they're working properly. We'll try passing simple traffic. We'll try a variety of different local repeaters and simplex also, just to see if we could function without repeaters and pass traffic. Okay. And also, this way everyone, is, acts in disciplined, professional manner when they're doing it. We hope that people would work to improve their communication skills and capabilities through the training and participation in the public service events. Like I said, we have 3 main public service events through the year. In May is the MS Walk, July is the Gold Coast Bike Tour, and October is the Cancer Walk. Those are, we hope that people would come out and help support us. Yes, there's door prizes. Okay. You stay informed of these upcoming events and by checking into our weekly nets. And just to play a role in the organization by attending meetings. I'm not saying you have to come to every meeting. We also are currently doing hybrid meetings, so you can log in from the comfort of your home. The only thing is, if we're doing hands-on exercises, you kind of miss out on that hands-on and also on camaraderie. A lot of times is, like here, we get a little, time to socialize before and after a meeting. So our meetings are held on the 2nd and 4th Thursdays each month. Generally, the second Thursday of the month is our general meeting, and the 4th is our training meeting. They start at 19:30 hours at 7:30 p.m. local time. At the American Red Cross building at 195 Willis Avenue, Mineola. The parking and the entrance is in the rear of the building, and we hold our meetings in the 2nd floor boardroom. They said we have 3 main public service events we do. Last year, it seemed that the Ocean and Sound Relay Race was canceled, so I doubt they're going to have it again. They were financially struggling with running this event. So no Long Island Marathon, as long as they continue running the laps around the park, because that does save them a lot of money, and closing down all these other roads in Nassau County and closing down the parkway and everything. I don't foresee the Long Island Marathon going back to the way it used to. So, that's still right now be a past event for us. So what I got here on the screen is basically what we'd be setting up for next Saturday. We'll have our trailer in parking lot 1. We'll have mesh camera nodes set up in the starting area, and then the strategic points along the boardwalk that would be piping live video back through amateur radio frequencies, right back to the trailer, so we get real-time live video of participation along the boardwalk. We'll have a few posts strategically spaced out along the boardwalk as well. And, basically, we'd have liaison with the medical personnel at the scene, the EMTs that would be there. John, what type of technology do we use for live video?
We're down to -2 channels. So we're hand in. Oh, okay. Okay. All the things on the routing that is software converted. Yeah. Right now, we usually use the small little one, the Linksys, but the only problem is they only put out 50 kilowatts. Right, we've gone to, ubiquity, okay, so, and special firmware that you have to play. Yes, yep.
Okay, so the question was, what kind of technology and so forth do we utilize for the mesh network? And as John was explaining, we use Arden, which is amateur radio, emergency. I don't know what the D is. Digital network. Okay. And we're utilizing ubiquity routers in the 2.4 gigahertz. And these would be normally Wi-Fi routers, wireless routers that go down into the 2.4 gigahertz of the ham bands. And utilizing that and with the specific software, we're able to transmit that video back. Another question. Counting active and reserve members, we're about 37. We'll be active more on the 20 side. So it's kind of a split between active and reserve. 20 members is kind of on the short side to run, properly provide support for the American Cancer Walk. We really need more personnel. Yes, we do. There are some partner clubs that we try to incorporate in doing these events, and sometimes we'll take volunteers from any amateur radio club, any licensed person, as long as they're able to. We'll pair them off with somebody from Aries so they can learn what's going on and stuff. Yes. The MS walk would be, we're asking for a 7:45 report time. Only reading in parking lot 1, because at 8:30, they're opening the gates to the public park. So we like, yeah.
Can you please repeat the questions that are in the room? Because we
Sure.
don't hear about here.
He was asking if he wanted to come down for the MS walk, what time should he get? And I basically state at 7:45 would be the reporting time, because at 8:30, the gates open to the public and then you won't find any parking there. And lot 1, you should be able to get in for free. If you try to go to the other lots, you're gonna need the Empire Pass. So I would suggest that if you don't have one personally, check your local library. They have them. Yeah, your local library has Empire Passes. So our nets, our regular voice net is Monday nights at 8 o'clock. It's on the KB2 BWV repeater, which is 443-525. And then it's located at the medical center. Then we have, like I said, our narrow beam emergency messaging system net is on the 147-135 repeater. And packet, we utilize the LiveMark Digipeater to get to the gateway. The 2 gateways that are closest to us is out Gisborne has one, and KD2EDX, Jim Campbell, has one over Kellenberg. Those are the gateways. The Digipeater at the medical center, and we're looking to restore the 220 link. The antenna's been down for a long time, And hopefully next week or two, John, we should be able to get that done. And that'll reestablish a 220 link back into the Eastern network, the Eastern Packet Net. That'll link up to radio out in Jersey and into the backbone. DMR, like I said, we graciously accept the 10 minutes of time we get from Limemark, and any repeater that has a Limemark talk group, or if you have a personal hotspot that you key up, 7388. Yeah. That's on DMR 745 to 755. Like I said, we run an annual drill once a year, just test our capabilities and see where we need room for improvement. They usually last 1 to 2 hours, and we don't go anywhere. We do this all from the comfort of your home. So you don't have to get dressed up. You can just grab your cup of coffee in the morning and get on the radio, and we're done. And have the rest of the day. What equipment? Is there any specialized equipment? No, use what you have. An HT is fine if that's all you got. If you have a mobile station in your house, that's good too. In any case, prepare for power outages. This is Long Island. I lose power every time the wind blows. So I always make sure I have my HT batteries, extra batteries in charge. And I have a generator as well. We want you, Nassau County Aries. And our website is nassaucountyaries.org. If there's anything I missed, you'll find it there, I'm sure. Any questions? Okay. Tomorrow night, we do have a meeting over at the American Red Cross building. We'll be going on an overview of the MS walk. So if you're not able to come in person, but you're only able to log in online, we're going to go over basically the overview, what time to get there, the apparel. So I forgot when I was preparing this presentation, I forgot Richie was not going to be here. Richie's also our quartermaster. Yeah, you see, John has his Aries hat on. So when we do these events, there's certain type of apparel. Like some of us have multiple, so we're able to lend somebody who doesn't have for an event. But we have these nice yellow vests, very thin, lightweight vests that have Aries logo and say radio communicator on the back. And basically, that's kind of what we look for. That plus these nice hats that we have. That's the minimum apparel that we kind of like require, because this way you're readily identifiable, in a crowd. Because we generally tell our event coordinators and the partners we serve at these walkathons that tell your participants if they need help or assistance, you look for those people on the boardwalk with the yellow jackets or the yellow vests. Sure. Okay.
He's doing a great job. Some of you who know who I am, he's right there from the Nassau County Army. And before me was Dave Aikens, and the two of us got together many years ago. And what's really great about Aries is the reward. You're down there on the boardwalk. There's 70,000 people walking. And all of a sudden you look over and there's a little child standing there going, "Mommy, mommy," and he can't find mommy. So he'll come over to us, or we'll go over to them and go, "Son, what's your name?" He says, "Where's your mom?" Get on the radio, back to the trailer. Got a lost child. Well, you know what happens? At the next walk, the woman will look around and go, "Where's my son?" And she'll see somebody in the yellow jacket with radio. And she'll go over to him and go, "I lost my son." "Well, what's your son's name?" And he'll bring it back to the radio station. "You know what, ma'am? Your son is 2 stations back. He's at field 2. You're at field 1. He's with the guy with the yellow jacket." And that's the reward. Okay? My friend Dave, during Hurricane Sandy, Long Beach lost all their power. No cell phone service, no electricity. You know what he did? He got his car And he drove down Long Beach Road in between all the boats. Because all the boats down there sitting on pilings lifted up and floated out. But he got down there to Long Beach and he hung a sign that said, call home. And women and child and young women would come up and say, well, what are you doing? He says, well, you have no cell service. If you like, I can send a message back to your loved ones, let them know that you're okay. Well, he did almost 80 radiograms back to Richie's house, K2K and B, that page had electricity running and a phone service who called people and say, my name is Richie, I'm a ham operator. I got a message from your daughter, Linda. She's down in Long Beach. She's okay. As soon as power comes back, that's the reward. That's the excitement about being married. Going out in an event or even during an emergency and helping out someone else. So again, if you guys want to come out next Saturday, we'll pair you up with an Aries member along the boardwalk, and you can get a little idea of what it's all about. So yours, Ken.
Thank you, John. Couldn't have said it better. No, it's so true. And even sometimes, like on the boardwalk, like, it's wood. Wood expands. The nails wind up popping up a little bit. And some people, older people, have trouble walking, and the tip of their shoe will get caught on a nail, and they go do a face plant into the boardwalk. And now, trying to get help exactly to where they're at and stuff, a lot of times our people are right there. They're able to pinpoint their exact location, and we're able to get help to them as quickly as possible. And we carry Band-Aids because somebody had a blister. Some young girl had a blister on her foot from walking, new shoes, and to try and get EMS to come down for Band-Aid was next to impossible. One of our members had their first aid kit in their car, right by their post. They got the Band-Aid out and gave it to the girl. So we were able to assist in minor medical emergencies like that. Exactly. Break them in first. It's the beach. Okay, if there's no further questions,